Burma, a land of temples and pagodas where Buddha has been worshipped far into the deepest jungles for 1,000 years. Burma, a military dictatorship since 1962, where bloody repression and ethnic wars between rebels and the Burmese army have ravaged the country for 50 years. The military junta based in Burma's capital Rangoon has never really succeeded in bringing peace to its people. An old man may yet change this all. About 250 miles east of Rangoon, a small parcel of land of 15 square miles in the middle of the tropical forest has succeeded in escaping military control. This self-governing territory, a haven of peace and abundance, was created 15 years ago in the mind of an old solitary monk, the Sayadaw. Ever since, thousands have joined him. The war had destroyed their lives, so they got organized and slowly but surely gained their independence. The Sayadaw, Burma's most venerated monk, is surrounded by 15,000 people who live and work in peace. As soon as she was freed from house arrest in 1995, Burma's main opponent to the military regime and Nobel Peace Prize winner Aung San Suu Kyi went to Thamanya. For her, Thamanya is a glimmer of hope and an example to be followed by the entire country. Tremendous care was taken in shooting the following scenes in order to remain undiscovered by the military authorities. This little piece of land, barely known to the Western world, is a challenge for the Burmese junta. Officially, it doesn't exist. The rainy season in Thamanya. Peasants plant out rice, and all year long, travelers, monks, and pilgrims cross the threshold to this territory, headed for the center of its little city. They have all come to see the Sayadaw. They come from all parts of Burma. Some of them have walked for many days. Many are novices, others are fully ordained monks. The monk U Abata decided only a few months ago to join the monastic order. At the age of 55, his children have grown and are working. His wife needs him no more. He has decided to devote himself to religion from now on. His first pilgrimage is to see the Sayadaw. In the beginning, Thamanya was the name of a hill. In 1980, the 67-year-old monk U Winaya decided to leave his monastery and set out to spend the rest of his days on a hilltop in the middle of the forest. He chose Thamanya Hill, known by the local inhabitants to be haunted. Thus, he could isolate himself from the rest of the world and dedicate his life to meditation. Little by little, word got around. This mysterious monk was said to possess healing and protective powers. However, his solitary existence was not going to last. From day to day, ever more visitors came to seek his protection. That's how the legend of Thamanya began.
Sayadaw Sayadaw the Barret Alma Trendo Niro, take to a Bitija de Bono. Now the Sayadaw Gondarin, Sayadaw Midago, Corona to the period Miala Kajo. Sayadaw Nibro, Usibio, Dima Landalam Power and Comelu, Sayadaw Sophia de, the Sophia Jet and Lago Yava the Car, the Maria, Tanamia, Low Adanabono, Boris, Kokana, Site of Kurane, Sayadaw Kuran, Jango Powder.
Within a few years, Uwinaya became Burma's most worshipped man alive and was soon known as Thamanya Sayadaw, the great monk of Thamanya. Thousands of followers come from all over the country to pay tribute to him every week, hence perpetuating the old tradition of pilgrimage that remains the country's most common form of travel. According to the legend, when the Sayadaw touches the pilgrims' heads, he instantly purges them of all evil and purifies their minds. The forest monk is perfectly faithful to the Theravada, in other words, the school of the elders, the purest form of Buddhism. His powers are efficient because he uses them with kindness and compassion.
Nanadi, Tiadi, Mingo di Dina Miabono, the Chanema Saidura, Chandra Dina Miabo. I look Zinobian, Sierra, Nawakama, Wutumwe, Tinga, Tea, Panasadi, Akalio, Sierra Lugare. I look Lamuna Biware. Now Lame Naga Boado, coming life, no? I look Naga Boado, Kamu, Pudopia, Nebangu, the Legu, Chomu, Valuya, to Lamu Biware.
The Sayadaw left his retreat in 1995 to move to this vast building built with his believers' donations. Here, in the Great Hall, he preaches the sacred word of Buddha 3 times daily before the hundreds of travelers that congregate to seek the Sayadaw's blessing. As soon as the sermon is over, each visitor comes to place alms at the Sayadaw's feet. Money, umbrellas, and monastic robes. Anything to help the monk's life entirely dedicated to meditation. Monks are not allowed to work for a living, and such gifts are their only source of support. The entire economy of Thamanya depends on it. For the Burmese, to make a donation is an important gesture, much more so than in the West. Here, the donor is valued for his gift with a better life. The purer the monk and the greater his power, the more merit the gift deserves. In order to better understand the extraordinary fate of this monk, Let's take the bumpy 25-mile road back to Kojai, the small village where the Sayadaw spent most of his life. The Sayadaw was born into a humble family of farmers and joined the monastic community at the age of 11. He became a novice and left to study for 9 years in Moulmein, the capital of southern Burma. At the age of 20, he was fully ordained and lived in several monasteries of the province. Rules were strict and privations many. This life suited him perfectly. Due to his dash and intelligence, he became the abbot of the Wazul monastery at the age of 30. He presided over ceremonies and taught the essentials of Buddhism to novices. The nearby peasants frequently came to him for help and advice, and the village affairs were often handled in the peaceful surroundings of the monastery. Then, in 1980, at the age of 67, he decided to leave, to go far away from all men, deep into the forest. He settled in a little cabin at the top of Thamanya hill that everyone claimed to be haunted. But his presence in this spooky place didn't go unnoticed for long. This solitary monk puzzled the inhabitants of the area, for what he was doing had been done by someone very famous a long, long time ago. "2,500 years ago, Prince Siddhartha turned away from the splendor of his royal palace to embrace the life of a religious wandering beggar. A few years later, he became the awakened, in other words, Buddha. The Sayadaw therefore followed in his master's own footsteps. This incentive brought him a great amount of esteem. Today, he represents the ideal Buddhist renunciation. The peasants soon began to consider him to be holy, a man who has broken the cycle of rebirths, who will not be reborn, and who will therefore enter nirvana after death.